So let's begin our class when Smiling Susie is ready. Let's begin with banana. So lie down on your back, straighten your legs, walk both legs off to the right side of the mat. The legs are straight, you're laying flat on the mat, both legs walk to the right. When you can go no further with the legs, then scooch your head, shoulders, and arms to the right as well. Now, how do you scooch? Push the back of your head into the mat and kind of slide your shoulders to the right. Your arms start out like wings, so your head can turn left. Once your head anchors to the left, you can gracefully draw the arms overhead so you can open up the meridians of the heart and the lungs, but don't have the arm hanging. You want the armpits open, really, so you don't have to bring them all the way up, but you want a comfortable position. You can slide your right leg away from the left, so you can try that. And your breath is deep. So yoga means union. It's a joining between your ego, your intellect, your mind, and your true self, your spirit, your eternal spirit. The best way to understand the spirit that pervades you, pervades me, and the whole universe is to imagine pots and pans, all different colors, all different sizes and shapes. But within the pots and pans and outside the pots and pans, you find space or air. That's what you want to meditate on, is the space or the air, not the body. That space or air is the same space or air that you and I share, that the whole world shares. That's a good analogy of the unity of all life. Because we look different on the outside, but the thing that sustains us all, is that cosmic consciousness. And that's what you meditate on. So there was a man, he's the most selfish man on the planet. We're going to talk today about selfishness, which has a tendency to separate. And then when we read from the Bhagavad Gita, we're going to read about selflessness, which is more of a unity. Selflessness is that love that we're all familiar with. But this man was so selfish, he wouldn't give any of his time to anybody. He wouldn't give any of his money. It was all about him, me, 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 me. He was a taker. He was a taker. Now let's move your banana, walk your legs to the other side. So most of you are going left. When you can go no further with your legs, keeping them straight, your butt cheeks flat on the mat, then scooch your head and shoulders to the left as well. You could slide the left leg away from the right leg, and your arms can start out like wings and your head can turn to the right. So anyway, this selfish man, who's a taker, was walking on a hike, and he slipped and fell, and below him is a 1,000-foot drop. Certainly, if he falls any further, he'll drop to his death. He's holding on to a tree branch, and along comes another man. The man offered to save him. He says, "Give me your hand." But the man, of course, has never given anything to anybody in his whole life. And he said, "I'm not going to give you my hand. I don't give to anything to anybody. But if you don't give me your hand, you're going to die. Don't you know that?" He says, "I don't care. I'm not going to give you anything." So the man that was there to save him said, "Take my hand." And the guy said, "Sure, I'll do that. I've been taking my whole life." So he took the hand, and of course, he lived. But that's just a story, a funny story, on how someone can be so selfish. But it is quite funny. So we're in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is a yoga book. Since 87% of yoga deals with the mind, we like to offer you 100% of yoga, not just the 13% that deal with the physical and physiological benefits. In many ways, training the mind is the most important thing we could be doing in this or any other lifetime. This chapter is entitled Divine Splendor. We're reading from Escharon, but other authors have entitled this chapter The Opulences of that Spiritual Realm, or Yogananda's title, The Infinite Manifestations of the Unmanifest Spirit. You can find Happy Baby. So moving the Happy Baby, both knees are bent, bottoms of the feet facing the ceiling. We're going to open the hips gently today. If you're not able to grab the outside of your feet, just simply grab up near the ankles, near the calves, and as you breathe, pull the feet away from each other. You can tick-tock them front to back. So the infinite manifestations of the unmanifest spirit, yoga teaches everything is divine. No one is broken. We're all perfect in every way, but we all need to work on our spiritual maturity. And we all know what we need to work on. And that's where meditation can help. But yoga doesn't separate. It's not a religion. Religion separates. I believe this. If you don't believe what I believe, you're different from me. You're going to go to hell. That's not according to yoga. Everybody is divine. We're all part of the universal family. Let's release from Happy Baby and come up to a seated position. Butterfly. Butterfly. In butterfly, the bottoms of your feet are touching. The most important part, though, is to tip the sit bones forward. Now that you're leaning forward, you can slide the feet a little closer to the groin. You can scoop the hands underneath, pull them, maybe the feet a little further, and then just round the back, chin to chest, and releasing, surrendering on each exhale. So you can study history, all throughout history. All the masters, avatars, saint rishis, mystics and seers have all said the exact same thing. Everything is divine. There's an indivisible unity to all of us. We're all interconnected. And quantum physics has also proved that same fact. So why is there still separatedness? Why do we still think that you're different from me? I don't know when that's going to end. So our sloka reads today, among the weapons I am the thunderbolt. I am Kamahuk, the cow who fulfills all desires. I am Kardarpa, the power of sex, and Vasuki, the king of snakes. If you remember, Krishna's telling Arjuna just a few of his opulences. And Krishna could be any name that you wish to use. Krishna's in the spiritual realm, and he's just sharing with us all the things that he is. Here Krishna uses Vara, the thunderbolt, as a symbol of the power of selflessness. Selflessness cannot be broken by any other power on earth. You can use and interchange the word love for selflessness. In the Vedas, Indra, leader of the gods, carries the thunderbolt as his weapon. It is the thunderbolt that he slays the cosmic demon. The cosmic demon can be anything like violence, separatedness, selfishness, anything that you view as bad. It doesn't have to necessarily be a demon. The story of how this weapon was made is a marvelous one. The gods were terribly distressed at the strength of the forces of violence in the world. So they went to Indra and asked him to conquer this violence and separativeness. And of course, we have violence and separativeness in our world right now. His strange reply was, "I first must have an invincible weapon which can be made only from the bones of a sage who is pure and perfect." So this story you probably could read during Halloween, right? I want your bones. The devas searched far and wide for such a sage. They told many spiritual aspirants of their plight. Oh yes, the aspirants would say, "We would like to help you out. What can we do?" The unexpected answer was, "Give us your bones." As it turned out, the aspirants preferred having their bones inside their bodies. And so the search went on. Finally, the devas came to Dahisi, a simple, sweet figure who had come to identify himself so completely with all life that everyone's suffering was his own. You can release and see if you can find a counter pose. 1 minute. You can move any way you want. Windshield wipers from a seated position, windshield wipers from lying position. You can hug your knees. You can do arch pose. Anything that works for you, Marie, is fine with me, but you only get 1 minute. So we'll continue the end of the story after we get to the next sequence. All right, let's come up to seated. We'll work on saddle. We almost always do saddle every yin class. In saddle, you pick a leg. I don't care which one you choose. Draw the leg back. Try to get some portion of the top of the foot on the mat so we can open up the ankle joint as well. If that doesn't work for you, you could grab a block, placing it under the other butt cheek, getting some more height to allow you to do that. You have 3 levels here. If you come just with your hands, you're going to find back bends and heart expanders from here. On the inhale, you might make it down to your forearms. Same thing, lift the heart, arch the back. If you happen to make it all the way down, bring the arms overhead, maybe bend that free knee. Whatever you choose, go ahead and find it as I start the 3-minute timer. This pose is recommended 15 minutes. We're only going to go for 3. And I'm going to walk around and check your work. Make sure you're breathing nice and deep. So the knee joint is stressed here. As in yin, we're stressing all the joints eventually. That's a good stress to open up the connective tissue, hydrating the joint, bringing back its youthfulness and the energetic flow. In this case, the lower meridians running through the toe tips, ankles, knees, all the way through the hips, stomach, spleen, gallbladder, urinary bladder, kidney, and liver meridians. Finally, the devas came to Dahishi, a simple, sweet figure who had come to identify himself so completely with all life that everyone's suffering was his own. The devas confessed, "We are at the end of our tether. Violence is rising high on all sides, and we haven't been able to get the weapon we need to stop it. For it can be fashioned only from the bones of a sage who is pure and perfect. If you will accept it," Dahishi reassured them, "my body is yours. You don't have to look any further." He sat down in meditation, united himself with the Lord, and shed his body so it could be used for the happiness of mankind. Now remember, yoga means union. When you find that kingdom within, they say, when you meditate and discover your true nature, you don't need your bones anymore because you no longer have a desire of the flesh. You realize you're something so much more wonderful. You don't have any more fleshly desires. I hope you're breathing deeply. This capacity to do anything to relieve the suffering of others is a sign of invincible power. We usually misuse the word power to mean the capacity to destroy another country or race or fellow creature. This is not power. This is a liability. Power rises from within us. The power that we have to forget ourselves, to subordinate ourselves to the welfare of the whole, is the only power that is real. As long as we have the desire and the resoluteness to contribute to life, we need not be meek about our efforts to solve the problems that we face and the problems that others face. You can straighten that leg. Come on out of that pose. You can massage the knee, rotate the ankle. You only get 45 seconds to recuperate. So since that leg is going to be straight, does anybody know what we're doing next?
Bending the left, the other side.
Anybody? Barbara?
No.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do the other leg. Let's do the other leg. Remember, try to get some portion of the top of the foot, Susan, on the mat. You might have to bring a block underneath the right butt cheek. I'll start the timer. 3 minutes. Make sure you're breathing nice and deep. Remember, with each inhale, you're lifting the heart and arching the back. You can do that without having to lay the head back if your neck is a little sore. Release. You can straighten that leg and take about 45 seconds to recuperate. Maybe rotate the ankle, maybe massage a knee, or whatever else works for you. Okay, I might give you a strap. We'll see. It doesn't matter much if you use one or not, but I want to make sure we get to the full expression of cat pulling its tail. See if you can roll to your side body. I'm on the left side body. And notice I'm on the left side of my mat. I'm on my forearm. My legs are stacked. Huh? Okay, I'm on the right side of my mat. I'm on my left side body. Now this top leg, this right leg, right? It's going to anchor down. Leave it down. And then I'm going to move my hips a little bit so I'm comfortable. Now my right arm, my right hand grabs the tail, that left foot. Pull that foot away. And now try to open up the shoulders. Try to get the shoulders down. Turn your head to the right. And pull that right knee up towards your chest. Make sure it's not straight. The farther that knee comes up, the more twist and back bend you get. This is 2.5 minutes. I'll come over and check your work. Cat pulling its tail. You're fine. You're there. This is what I want, though.
Okay.
There you go. Now turn your head that way. Perfect. This knee could draw up to the head. The farther that right knee is up towards your head, the twist becomes a little more, a deeper twist. Turn your head right, Miller. Not particularly. Everybody looks great. Everybody looks great. How's it going over here? See if you can drop that shoulder. Now turn right. Make sure you're breathing nice and deep. Draw that knee up. It's a little more twisting when you do that. Good. Okay, everybody looks great. Turn your head to the right, McDaniel. All right, you can come on out. See if you can find happy baby. 45 seconds. We're opening the hips slightly today, so we're going to do 2 more happy babies. Bottoms of the feet facing the ceiling. Try to reach up, grab the outside of your feet. If that's a challenge for you, simply grab the ankle area, calf area. But as you breathe, pull the feet apart, try to open the hips and groin. But you're also stretching the spine from that twisting back bend you just did. All right, you can release. Now, without me having to waste any energy in demonstrating, see if you can find cat pulling its tail on the other side. Wrong tail, Laura. Remember, once you get that foot, try to drive that other knee up toward the head, and then try to open the shoulders. Lay down, try to get both shoulders down on the mat. You're not going to get both shoulders down, some of you won't, and turn your head to the left. Breath is deep. You can come on out when you're ready. I hope you're ready. Let's find your last happy baby. 45 seconds, right? You got that smile, Kathy Miller? She's happy. Happy to be able to find the happy baby. Someone came up to me a long time ago. She said, Tim, my granddaughter did a happy baby. And that's where they get it, right? So in about 20 seconds, we're going to transition to a seated sequence. All right, nicely done. Let's release. Come up to seated. Cross your legs, a casual crossing of the legs, the same way you've been crossing them your whole life. Easy pose. I want you to pull the feet in toward the groin in some capacity so you're sitting up as straight as you can. Okay? And then let's go with a lateral bend to the right hand down, and everything leaning right. This is only going to be 1 minute today. So you get 1 minute only. Good. Try to bend that bottom arm as you exhale, surrendering. Let the shoulder drop a little at a time. Let that ear drop too. Don't forget you have 6 joints in your neck. You could also imagine you're pushing your heart out of your armpit, the armpit that's facing the ceiling. Each time you exhale, push the heart in that direction. Let's float over to the other side. Now remember, it's only a minute today. We usually go 1.5 minutes. We've already done a little bit of lateral bending though with banana, so 1 minute should be enough for today. Each time you exhale, surrendering. Good, very nice. All right, you can come out. Now your legs are crossed, right? Square pose. Your legs are crossed. Square pose, remember you're going to move the feet away from each other so that no heel or ankle is underneath a lower leg. If my heel is under a lower leg, that leg won't go down any further. That's why you want to separate. Most important part then is to tip forward. Tip your sit bones forward, releasing down in front. 3 minutes. Good. And of course, find the breath at least twice as deep as you normally breathe in and out through your nose. Good. right, you can lift up, but don't move your legs yet. Look down at your feet and make a note which
Right foot was forward.
which foot's in front or which foot's close to the groin. Try to remember that information and take a minute now to move any way you want, releasing the tension. Anything that you want to do to release the tension, right? Windshield wipers are nice, arch pose is nice, hugging the knees, or any other way that works best for you. Okay. As you sit up again, recross the legs the other way. But we need. But sit up straight. Sit up straight. Now, your left hand to the right knee, right hand behind you on the mat. Twist right. 1 minute. 1 minute. Good. Chin leveled out. Each time you exhale, try to deepen the twist. So twists are called rejuvenating movements for the spine, and if you're breathing deeply, I know you are, the diaphragm massaging liver, kidneys, spleen. So you get a nice internal massage as well, rejuvenating. Well done. Let's twist left. 1 minute. Patience. Find the breath. Well done. Square pose. Remember, look down at your feet and separate them away from each other. Make sure no heel or ankle is underneath a lower leg. And then tip your sit bones forward and drop down. What's that, Jan?
I was too.
Oh, you could be doing square pose while you did your twist, but you're not going to feel the energy in the hips until you drop down. Or you may not feel as much energy. Everybody looks great. Just enjoy opening those hips where the stomach, spleen, urinary bladder, gallbladder, liver, and kidney meridians run through. Well done. You can come on out. Take a full minute to counter pose. Working the body any way that you'd like to release any tension that you may have. Okay, so we've done about 9 minutes of forward folding, something like that. We haven't been involved in the back bending. So we're going to work about the same length of time in our back bending sequence coming up soon. After that, we're going to begin winding down. So keep your focus. You could, while you're waiting these last 20 seconds, draw both blocks up near the front part of your mat. I think Laura and Kathy McDaniel, you two need to do that. And let's maneuver your wonderfully made body to table pose. Table pose, you're on your hands and knees, hands under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. Walk your table toward the back edge of your mat so your feet are 2 or 3, 4 inches from the back edge. Bring your hands with you so they start out right under the shoulders. Look down at your hands, walk your hands 2 complete hand lengths forward. Leave your hands there, sit your butt back towards your heels. Draw your head down comfortably to the mat or the block. This is melting heart. If your butt is resting on your heels, we don't want that because this is a stretch. If your elbows are touching the mat, we don't want that either. Try to feel the stress in the shoulder joints and spread your fingers nice and wide. We don't spread the fingers wide often enough. You might notice the wrists now are energized, and we're trying to energize from the fingertips all the way up, finger joints, wrist joints, elbows and shoulder joints. Lift your head there. The upper meridians, right? Running through those fingertips all the way to the shoulder joints. Heart, lungs, small, large intestines. Pericardian meridian, which corresponds to the heart. And the Sanjial meridian, the most important meridian in the body, they call it the triple burner, bringing energy to all the other meridians. The shoulder joint, the most complex joint in the body, has to rotate 6 directions. So not only are we opening and energizing and stressing those joints, the upper back is also involved. We don't do a lot of upper back work in regular yoga. And when we finish this 3 minutes, be patient. We're going to energize the rest of the spine in our Sphinx sequence. Make sure you're breathing nice and deep. All right, nicely done. Now gently, gracefully move to Sphinx all the way on your stomach and your forearms. We'll get to the blocks in a little bit. Right now, look down at your elbows, make sure they're right directly under your shoulders, and proud up your heart. Lift your heart up as I begin the timer. So this is Sphinx, recommended 20 minutes. We're only going to do it for just about 7 minutes or so, something like that. Each time you exhale, see if you can get some movement. When the exhale hits, just lift the heart up from the mat a little bit and push it back. So you're kind of just floating. You're not lifting the heart very far, but you're trying to move it a little bit up and back, energizing, right, the remainder of the spine area. And remember, we spoke to you just a couple classes ago. Yoga compares your spine to the tree, either the tree branches, the root system. You can visualize millions of nerve endings coming off your spinal cord, going to all systems of your body. Now, open your eyes and look up to the ceiling. Same thing. This is going to last 1 minute. Each time you exhale, see if you can keep that awareness and that movement going. Strengthening the optical nerves of the eye. We very rarely look up with this much force. Hang in there, I need another 30 seconds. All right, let's droop your head. Let your neck rest for about 40-45 seconds. All right, as you come back up, locate your blocks. Bring one block under one elbow, the other block under the other elbow. You have to bring the blocks so they're touching your chest area, so your elbows remain under the shoulders to get the maximum elevation. If your blocks are too far away from the chest, then your elbows are far away and you're slouching a little bit. Same thing, reestablish. For 1 minute, you're now in Sphinx at a different elevation, but nothing's changed. Take that minute to focus on the breath and the movement. With movement comes feeling. With that feeling, it will keep you aware and in the moment. When we get to a minute, we'll deepen the pose, just like we did before. Nice deep breathing. Level the chin. Nice deep breathing. Okay, for 1 full minute, just like last time, open your eyes and look up to the ceiling. Good. 15 seconds. Hang in there. You can droop your head and let your neck rest for about 40 seconds. If you need to come off of the blocks, of course, you can, but I'm hoping you can make it when we do bring you back up for about another minute and a half, and that's it, before we start winding down. All right, nicely done. Let's come back up. If it works for you, back up on the blocks. Now, the next 30 seconds, let's focus on this pose, this height. In the last minute, I'm going to cue you for Cobra. You can stay at this elevation if you want when I cue you, or you can do our familiar Cobra, where you'll set the blocks aside and you'll push your hands into the mat, straightening the arms, and for 1 minute you'll look up. There's nothing wrong with staying where you are, but I'm hoping for Cobra because there's a bonus round coming up the last 15 seconds. All right, let's go ahead, see if you can push your arms to straight, eyes open, looking up to the ceiling for 1 minute. Good. Try not to slouch in the shoulders. Hang in there. We'll begin winding down after this, so stay focused. Make sure you're breathing nice and deep. Now this last 15 seconds, stay where you are and see if you can bend your knees. Draw your feet to your head. Hang in there now. This is Swan. Just a little more weight on that lumbar. Looking up. All right, nicely done. You can gently work your way back down to your forearms. Droop your head. And when you're ready, you can bring your elbows to split apart. Your hands can stack on, you can stack your hands underneath your chin cheek or forehead. All right, nice, very nice. Let's bend the knees again and tick-tock your lower legs side to side like windshield wipers. Releasing a little more tension for about 10 seconds. And let's push up and back into child's pose. Child's pose, you're on your hands and knees. Sit your butt back towards your heels. Drop your head down to the mat. No more deep breathing. Eyes can shut. Your mentality now is winding down. We're going to be winding down for the last 8 minutes. Okay, nicely done. Let's make your way to seated. Sit down. Your feet are facing toward me. Now let's try to get on the same leg You're going to bend your right leg in front, your left leg in back. And then sit up tall. Do the best you can here. You might be on only one sit bone. This is deer pose. You're going to twist like you normally would all the way back here, but then you'll stay on that right, outside that right thigh. You can split your elbows, stack your hands underneath your chin cheek or forehead. Thank you, Laura. Have a nice weekend. That left shoulder is a little higher than the right. That's fine, but you can explore dropping that shoulder down so it's level. With the right one. And of course the breath is nice and deep. All right, well done. Let's come up to seated. Let's find straddle or dragonfly. Or if we were doing a hatha class, wide angle. Yes, Marie, you have it. Legs out wide. As the legs go wide as you can get them, tip your sit bones forward. And then see if you can get the legs even wider. Then tip the sit bones forward. See if you can get the legs even wider. When you're ready, and I hope you are, drop your hands right down the center. Now you could also elect to grab the ankle area or the feet. Let's energize the legs for the first time in the class. This is 2 minutes, but we're going to come here twice. So the legs are the longest blood roads in the body, 60,000 miles of blood roads, arteries, capillaries, veins. The legs are the longest. So for this 2 minutes, you're just trying to open them up. All right, well done. You can release, and you have a counter pose, right? Move any way that you want, but you only get 30 seconds this time because you were only in the pose for 2 minutes. I hope that's going to be enough time for you. Don't get too cozy. Let's come back up to seated. Let's do deer pose to the left. So bend your left leg in front, right leg in back. Right? Good. And then twist all the way to the left so you can drop outside that left thigh. That's it. That's it. Very nice. You have it. Now just turn. So why is that side more loose than the other?
No idea. I didn't understand what I was supposed to be doing.
No, you had it. Okay. Were you able to get down like that?
Yeah.
Okay. But everybody has a different bone structure. Everybody's physicality is different. There's no right and wrong in yoga. Make sure you're breathing, though, nice and deep. Very nice. All right, well done. Let's come back up to wide angle or straddle dragonfly. One last movement for 2 minutes. Legs are wide. Tip the sit bones forward. Bring the legs wider still. Tip the sit bones forward and drop it on down. You can bring your hands down between the legs. You could also elect to grab the ankles or the calf or the feet area. Just releasing down, energizing the backs of those legs. So we've been doing Yin Yoga, I think, about 2.5 years. About the last 7 or 8 months, we've been offering a guided meditation at the end of the, only at the end of the Yin Yoga class. Today we have a guided meditation called Message in the Bottle. We're going to take you to a beach. We're going to move you to a beach. In your mind, you can go in just a few moments. Nice deep breathing. Well done. You can release and relax, right? Class is over. I'm hoping you can release any tension in your body in the next minute or so. And get nice and comfy on your mat. Make sure your head and heels are comfortably on the mat. Get ready for the second most important pose in all of yoga, your final resting pose, which today we're going to add a 5-minute guided meditation. So that's your second most important pose in all of yoga, your final 5 minutes of rest. Of course, the most important pose in all of yoga is give me your bones, right? Because once you find union, once you find the kingdom through meditation, your true self, you don't need the bones. You have no more fleshly desires. So in about 30 seconds, I'm hoping you're melting into Mother Earth so we can begin our guided meditation. If you should happen to lose your way during the meditation, that's fine. You're still going to quiet the mind, find quietude of mind, which is yoga. Okay, regular breathing now, eyes are shut. Let's spend the first minute just focusing on the feeling of the breath. As you inhale through the nose, certain areas of your nostrils, you can feel where that air passes. As you exhale through the nose, other areas of your nostrils are affected. Just take a minute feeling the breath enter through the nose, certain areas exit in other areas. Let's move away from following the breath, move away from the sensation of the breath, and visualize yourself on a beautiful, pristine beach. It's a pleasant sunny day, yet not too hot, with a light breeze. You feel the warm sun warming and energizing your skin. You hear the waves gently lapping on the sand. You allow yourself to be at one with nature. You are completely alone on the beach and feel completely safe. You reach down and take off your shoes and socks and place them on a towel on the sand. The grains of sand feel warm and energizing on your feet as you walk along the sand. You hear the faint sounds of seagulls in the air, which adds to the tranquility. You begin walking towards the water and walk along the shore where the water meets the sand. The sand feels soft and cool from the water as you walk along it. The air is fresh and clean. You allow any tension in your body to melt away as you walk along the sand. All cares and worries of your day are melting away. You feel the elements and life force from nature restoring your energy levels and sense of calm. Visualize in your mind any place you may be holding tension in your body, any aches or pains gradually softening and releasing them. As the water ebbs and flows on the shore, so do all your worries and tiredness ebb and flow away. You are feeling completely serene and at peace at the beach. A wave comes to shore, you look down and see a bottle by your feet. You reach down and pick up the bottle. As you hold the bottle in your hand, you notice the bottle has been sealed with a cork and there's a note inside the bottle. You loosen the cork and reach in with your fingers to pull out the piece of paper. You unfold the paper and read these words. If you are reading these words, know that you are receiving this message at the right time and place. Know that you are special and loved eternally. I have chosen you to be here at this time and place to help the people of the planet heal. Never doubt or forget how special you are, my eternal love, the Great Spirit. Overjoyed with emotion, you feel someone else should discover this bottle. You fold the note and place it back into the bottle. You reseal the bottle with the cork, and with your best throw, you throw the bottle back into the water. As you find your way back from the beach, Susan, as you find your way back from the beach, see if you can gracefully make your way up to a comfortable seated position. And shake the sand off your body and your feet. Don't get any sand on the mat, please. If you'd like, you can draw your hands to the heart center. As always, thank you all for coming out, sharing such a pleasant experience, sharing your Yin Yoga with me and with each other. Our closing today from Buddha, 550 BC. You yourself, as much as anyone in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. And I pray that all of us will be loving and affectionate for the rest of our lives with everybody. Have a great weekend. Namaste.